Yung paniwala ko, if it is proven that the spending is in good faith, na nagkamali lang sa, let's say, reporting, yung sinasabi lang ibalik, ah, at kung ibabalik ito, there's no more criminal liability because hindi naman yan nakaw eh. Yung sinasabi lang dyan, it depends on the findings na hindi sinunod yung reporting let's say requirement ng COA. So it does not mean na binulsa. It's a different thing kung yung decision is sinabi ng COA nga it is proven na yung pera ay binulsa at ginamit hindi sang-ayon sa batas. Pero kung yung sinabi ng na technical ka kasi dapat yung resibo ganito o dapat yung manner of reporting ganyan kaya they cannot say na proper yung disbursement. It's in good faith. You may be administratively liable but not necessarily criminally liable.
Pag-uusapan po natin itong inilabas nga na notice of disallowance ng Commission on Audit laban sa opisina ng Vice Presidente at sa katunayan meron nga silang inutos na ibalik, isauli itong nasa 375 million pesos na halaga ng confidential funds ng Vice Presidente. Unang-una, ano ho ba itong notice of disallowance?
Ibig sabihin po, it's a finding by the COA, Commission on Audit, na sinasabi na hindi sinunod ng isang opisina ang paraan ng pag-disburse ng pondo o hindi niya ma-justify na within the parameters kung saan authorized na gastusin yung pondo. So it could be substantive, it can be procedural.
Po.
So when you say procedural, for example, dapat hindi pwede na na ordinary receipt lang, kailangan official receipt. So there are rules set by the COA, although it's confidential funds, that should be strictly followed by the office para hindi magka-problema.
Opo. Para lang sa kaalaman ng ating mga kababayan, yung mga ilan nga sa mga naging batayan kung bakit nila pinapasauli nga itong 375 million pesos na halaga ng Confi funds ay yung unauthorized daw na pag-handle, no? Paghawak ng pondo, yung hindi napatunayang confidential operations, mga questionable procurement, ipinagbabawal na reimbursement. Ito ho ba ay pinal na, attorney?
Any order by the COA, once it reaches the end of the appeal process, is considered final and executory. Pero merong judicial remedy dyan if it is alleged that it was exercised with grave abuse of discretion. So doon na pwedeng lumapit sa korte at yung pinal na makakapagsabi kung tama o mali yung desisyon ng COA ay ang Korte Suprema. If the appeal process is exhausted. So I presume that the OVP has no choice but to exhaust the appeal process under the court system up to the Supreme Court. At matagal pa ito.
Mhm. At kapag may notice of disallowance sa attorney, automatic bang may pananagutan na po yung isang opisyal?
When you say final and executory, up to the level of the COA na appeal, may karapatan sila na i-collect yan. So, but they need to enforce it through another court proceeding. Hindi pwede na sasabihin ng COA na yung bank account mo, Vice President, kunin namin yan. No, they cannot do that. The COA has to course through their action sa korte para makolek yung sinisingil nilang amount sa kay Vice President.
Opo. Dito sa naging findings nga ng COA, attorney, na questionable nga yung procurement, may mga reimbursement na prohibited. Posible bang technical lapse lang ito?
Um, I have no access to the actual documents. Ito kasi we must look at it in its totality, no. Hindi lang ito simpleng audit. We know for a fact na may political contest between the president and the vice president. And although the COA is a separate office at supposedly independent constitutional body, tayo naman, alam natin na yung nakaupo diyan ay appointed by the president. Now, there's the benefit of the doubt that the people in the Commission on Audit are doing their job correctly. But there is also a way for the respondent to make sure na yung ginawa ng COA-ng desisyon ay naaayon sa batas, uh, even no na merong sariling COA rules, dapat ito'y susunod sa konstitusyon. So doon nga yung final na decision ay ang Korte Suprema. But unless there is an injunction or immediate restraining order, nothing can stop the COA from initiating an action in the courts for a collection case. At yan ay matagal pang proseso. Kasi yun nga, the COA has no authority to immediately just get the funds of the VP. Now, yung mga korte, pag alam nila na may pending certiorari sa Korte Suprema, they could go ahead slowly by saying that they will respect the pendency of a case. So, hindi nila kaagad actionan yan. Discretion rin yan ng sitting judge, especially if the case is this high profile. Kaya nga tayo, makakabigay lang tayo ng spekulasyon, bigay lang tayo ng presumption, but we have no access to the actual documents. Now, yung sinasabi for example nga, dapat may official receipt kasi yan yung rule ng COA. Pwede naman sabihin ng Korte Suprema, yung confidential agent ba mag-i-issue ng official receipt? Katangahan yun. Dahil yung confidential agent, sila yung nagtuturo kung sino yung mga criminal, sino yung terorista. So, syempre, papel lang yan, disbursement fund paper lang yan. Hindi yan official receipt. Yung iba naman, for example, yung issue na bakit ibinigay yung pondo sa hindi authorized na opisyal. Yung sagot naman dyan, yung authorized na opisyal, siya yung nakatanggap ng pondo. Siyempre, ipapasa niya sa ibang tao na siya yung pwedeng magbigay sa confidential agent. Kasi just imagine, the cashier of an agency will be the one to disburse it to confidential agents. Hindi na magiging confidential. So there are things that needs to be reviewed, that needs to be decided by the Supreme Court based on circumstance. Kaya nga confidential agent kasi ayaw ipaalam yung itsura, yung pangalan dahil very sensitive yung ginagawang trabaho. Now, that is my observation sa sitwasyon. But as a rule, yung akin naman, based on government reform, sana, yung mga confidential at intelligence funds, it should be limited to our police force, our military, our intelligence officers. Hindi yan dapat binibigay sa mga mayor, sa mga office of the president or vice president. Pag binigay yan sa office of the president or vice president, it must be limited in scope. Hindi yung billions. Paano yun ma-disperse? You mean to say yung billions, lahat yan binibigay mo sa mga confidential agents. Kasi there is a possibility in the real world na yung confidential funds, hindi naman yan ninanakaw, pero ginagastos sa pagtulong o sa sinasabi nating ayuda, which is still not proper because if we follow strictly the idea of a confidential fund, purely intelligence matter yan. Hindi yung pangtulong sa libingan, hindi pang tulong sa ospital. So, if meron tayong i-advise sa Kongreso at sa Office of the President, better review the rules on confidential funds and dapat paliitin ito
Mm.
para hindi siya uh, whether with good or bad intention, ma-avoid yung sitwasyon na magamit ito na hindi sang-ayon sa rules ng COA.
Opo. At kapag pinabalik po yung pera, halimbawa na nga dito sa kaso ng opisina ng Vice Presidente, ibig hubang sabihin ito, yung kasunod na kaso is administratibo na at criminal case?
Yung paniwala ko, if it is proven that the spending is in good faith, na nagkamali lang sa, let's say, reporting, yung sinasabi lang ibalik, uh, at kung ibabalik ito, there's no more criminal liability because hindi naman yan nakaw eh. Yung sinasabi lang dyan, it depends on the findings na hindi sinunod yung reporting let's say requirement ng COA. So it does not mean na binulsa. It's a different thing kung yung decision is sinabi ng COA nga it is proven na yung pera ay binulsa at ginamit hindi sang-ayon sa batas. Pero kung yung sinabi ng na technical ka kasi dapat yung resibo ganito o dapat yung manner of reporting ganyan kaya they cannot say na proper yung disbursement, it's in good faith. You may be administratively liable but not necessarily criminally liable. So, at the same time, while the impeachable officer is sitting, uh, hindi siya mafafailan ng administrative or criminal case kasi dadaan muna ng impeachment.
Opo. At sa alin ho ba yung mauna o pareho bang mananagot, si VP Sara at yung kanyang mga implementing officers like yung disbursing officer at yung accountant attorney?
Ito yung ito yung legal at political na sagot, no. Yung sa legal, nothing can stop let's say the ombudsman from running after certain public officials using a final and executive decision of the COA except sa vice president kasi impeachable officer, they have to impeach her first. But yung mga ibang opisyal, the Office of the Ombudsman can actually proceed with either criminal or administrative action. Now, this could also be affected with whatever decision na magkakaroon ng Korte Suprema kasi may tinatawag rin tayong prejudicial question. So kung ako naman sa depensa, yung isasagot ko naman kung may complaint, sasabihin ko, oops, medyo mag-hold kayo. I move for the suspension of the proceeding because there's a pending prejudicial question as to the legality of the COA finding. So, which will directly affect the expected decision of the Office of the Ombudsman or the criminal courts. So, dahil dyan, there's a big possibility na isususpend yung proceeding at aantayin yung proceeding na matapos sa Korte Suprema. Kasi imagine a situation na let's say yung ombudsman magsasabi Kasi may ano karapatan yung ombudsman on the administrative cases. Sasabihin niya na may final decision is guilty sa administrative aspect. Example lang yun ha. And a year or two later, sasabihin ng Korte Suprema, innocent. Paano yan? Apektado na yung empleyado at opisyal, kinonvict mo na administratively, then tinanggal mo na sa trabaho, and pinahiya mo na, and all of a sudden sasabihin ng Korte Suprema sa kaso related to the Commission on Audit finding na inosente.
Mm, mm.
So that's why it will also guide the ombudsman at the same time yung mga korte to suspend once the respondent appeals the concept of prejudicial question.
Opo. Attorney, linawin ko lamang, ang issue po dito ay yung usapin o issue ng kakulangan ng papeles at hindi po indikasyon ng maling paggamit ng pondo. Tama ho ba?
We don't have access to the exact findings, no, final findings of the COA. Kasi nga even yung nababasa ko, even the Vice President does not have a copy yet. Nauna pa yung yung House Justice Committee na nagkaroon ng kopya. So to be fair to the Vice President, antayin natin na mapag-aralan nila yung findings ng COA kasi I suppose hindi pa siya naka-file ng motion for reconsideration unless the pending decision na inilabas is based on a pending motion for reconsideration. But based on our readings, it is based on appeal. And there is a chance pa na maka-file siya sang motion for reconsideration on the issue at hand.
Opo. Bago ko ipasok kay Attorney, so ito pong isyong ito dyan sa COA ng opisina po ng Vice Presidente ay magiging credible na ebidensya bang tawag doon sa ginagawang impeachment hearing ngayon dyan sa Kamara?
Iba yung appreciation ng COA, iba rin yung magiging appreciation ng House, iba rin yung magiging appreciation ng Senado. The senators sitting as trial judges, even if the COA will say na, let's say, nagkamali si Vice President, pag yung konsensya ng senador magsasabi no to conviction, anong magagawa ng COA? Anong magagawa ng korte? Wala silang magagawa because the impeachment court is a separate court na may jurisdiction over the issue of impeachment. So the senator judges, if they use their conscience, they will be presumed to independently vote correctly. Kasi yan yung paniwala nila eh. Just like the Supreme Court, the justices can vote differently. May majority and may minority ruling. So it's a numbers game for the Senate to convict the Vice President. They need 2/3 vote. So meron ba silang 16 senators to convict the Vice President? If they don't have 16 senators, kahit absent pa si Senator De La Rosa, they need 16 positive votes. So if we count the sitting senators and analyze the situation, malaking pag-asa na si VP Sara ay hindi mako-convict sa impeachment.
Attorney, Mayng aga, si Admar po ito.
Mayong aga, Admar.
Itong nakalipas, naglabas po ng desisyon ng Korte Suprema na mali nga yung naunang impeachment process nila at dapat dumaan talaga sa due process. After po noon, inimbitahan ng House Committee on Justice dito nga sa gumugulong na impeachment hearing dyan sa Kamara ang pangalawang Pangulo. Ngunit hindi kinwestiyon ito ng pangalawang Pangulo at sabing hindi makikiisa sa impeachment hearing or proceedings dyan po sa Kamara. Nakikita niyo po ba, sa tingin nyo, parte pa rin ang sinasabi ng Korte Suprema na due process, ito pong ginagawa ng Kamara sa kabila ng pagsasabi ng inaakusahan na hindi siya makikilahok, kine-question na niya ito. Hindi po ba pag sa piskal, pag hindi lumahok yung isa, maaari nang pwede nang idiretso doon mismo sa korte. Ditong nakalipas, marami silang mga ipinatawag, maraming nagbigay ng testimonya at sa susunod ata na pagdinig, yung ombudsman, si dating Senador Trillanes, ipapatawag at mayroong pagpahayag na by Mayo daw, doon pa magkakaroon ng botohan kung kanila bang i-impeach ang pangalawang Pangulo. Attorney JV.
Well, yung full disclosure muna, isa ako sa petitioner na nag-challenge, no, sa proceeding sa House of Justice Committee. Kasama ako ni Attorney Torion, Attorney Jimmy Bondok, Attorney Vic Rodriguez. Now, yung position namin is that yung sinasabing due process na requirement ng Korte Suprema ay nagawa na nung tinanong si VP Sara kung ano yung answer niya. She submitted an answer. That's already compliance of the due process. As compared sa previous, na sa first impeachment, na pinaakit lang yung kaso sa kanila na hindi siya pinasagot at in-endorse na sa Senado. Di sabi ng Korte Suprema, may mali kayo. Bago nyo dapat endorse sa Senado, sana pinasagot nyo muna yung tao para makapagbigay ng side niya. Dati, they just voted more than one-third votes. Then submitted it to the Senate. So yan yung violation dati. Isa sa violation dati. Aside from the issue of the 1-year ban ng complaints, no? So sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema, lipat na tayo sa second impeachment. Di ginawa na ng House. Yung sa House Justice, pinasagot si VP o sinagot ni VP. Kung hindi sila satisfied sa sagot ni VP, tapos na yung issue kasi they are bound within the complaint and the evidence attached to the complaint. They should now vote based on that kasi pinasagot na nila yung tao at yung sagot ng tao, whether she will cooperate or not, karapatan yun kasi may right rin siya against self-incrimination. The decision to submit it to the Senate should only be based on the complaint answer and to stop already from fishing for evidence. Parang may isang congressman umamin na this is not about conviction raw, this is about evidence gathering. So precisely yan yung punto namin kasi yung complaint is limited to the evidence of the complainants. At yung House are there not as a complainant but as judges to find out if there's enough evidence based on the complaint and it is in compliance with the form and substance para maitaas sa Senado. So what they're doing now based sa aming assessment is already more than the powers granted to them by the Constitution. Even if based on their own rules, sinasabi nila justified. But that House rules must be in compliance with the Constitution.
Opo. Dito po sa mga panibagong sasabihin pa no ng kanilang mga resource person na hindi rin pwede na hindi rin pwedeng pagtatanungin, walang cross examination din na ginagawa, parang confirmation lang doon sa kanilang mga testimonya. Saklaw na rin ba ito doon po sa inyo pong petisyon na inihain sa Korte Suprema, or maaring dagdag pa ito na question? Itong patuloy pa rin hanggang bukas ata, no, magkakaroon muli ng pagdinig. Dagdag pa rin ito na pwedeng isumbong ulit sa Korte Suprema kasi hindi na due process, lahat na sa side po ng mga nag-aakusa po laban sa pangalawang Pangulo.
I think yung issue of subpoena was specifically included in the case filed by certain intervenors, no? Merong sumunod sa amin na nag-file ng mga intervenors touching on the issue of subpoena. And narinig ko rin sa balita and read it na even Attorney Mans Carpio, yung husband ni VP Sara, also as a local court to issue an injunction. Now, lahat ng ito without a restraining order or an injunction from any of the courts in which nag-handle ng kaso, patuloy yung proceeding. But
Opo.
it does not mean na kahit na makapasok, sasabihin lang na moot and academic, because if it's already within the court process, what if the court would later on decide at sasabihin, let's say they already violated the Constitution. So again, there is a possibility that the court will strike down the entire proceeding.